Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, I'm going to take you through the Forex market wrap. We're going to highlight the news that happened this week and some of the charts that we looked over. So, I'm going to kick it off with the news, and we had a high volatility news week. This week there was lots of high impact data, and it really started off with the RBNZ, and the RBNZ hiked interest rates from 2% to 2.5% as forecasted. So Kiwi was one to watch for us this week. It's one of the weakest currencies in the market at the moment, according to the strength meter, and it was showing some signs of a bounce. However, price on Kiwi US dollar in particular continued to the downside this week. That was pretty much due to the fact that the dollar strength slightly continued early in the week. It started to slow towards the end, but we've started to see an increase in inflation again. We saw forecasts, which we were talking about a 0.8% increase, came in at 0.7, but beat forecast, beat the previous outcome, and saw another rise in inflation, which is again going to put pressure on the Fed to maybe hike rates by 1% instead of the 75 basis points that they were talking about previously. Now, a 1% rate hike was actually what the Bank of Canada did this week, which was unexpected in the market. There was a 75 basis points forecast, and we got 100 basis points to 2.5%. So CAD and the Bank of Canada and the RBNZ have the same interest rates now, and we can see that, this week the Canadian dollar did strengthen off the back of that initially, because it was a bit of an interesting surprise to the market. In other data, retail sales came out better than expected. We had a jump in that, so again the dollar gained a little bit of strength through that. We have seen the dollar kind of retrace a little bit from the end of the week, but we still think the dollar is still a very strong currency. If we go take a look at some of the currency pairs we outlined in the week ahead analysis video then, so one of those was Euro US dollar. We were looking at whether price would break this trend line, come to the value area high and move to the downside, or whether it would break the value area low. And instead of it kind of going to that area, we saw a break of the value area low towards that parity level. Price then rallied, rejected the value area low, pushed back down and broke through that parity. But price couldn't sustain below it. We saw buyers come in at that point. Now, again, fundamentally, the dollar is very strong, so I'm not looking for major increases in the price of the Euro US dollar at the moment. Obviously, we could have it because the market tends to impulse and then retrace and then continue its particular move. But because of the fundamentals in the market at the moment, because the dollar's so strong, we could see Euro dollar break to the downside and break below that parity level. Or what we may see from the market is just price bouncing from parity and staying within a bit of a confined range. Going on to the pound then, so again, pound was another one we were looking for some downside. We were looking to see if price would break the value area high to get short from around about this 121, but price didn't. Instead, we rejected the value area high, broke through value area low, and then pretty much remained capped at this weekly point of control. Price just couldn't close above it, and then we extended the losses for pound US dollar. Going on to Kiwi then, we were talking about Kiwi and the fact that we had this resistance trend line in here, and whether price would either trade out of it because the Kiwi was in a reversal zone, or whether we were expecting a continuation. And price broke the range low. We had this really tight trading range here that we were looking at. Price broke through that range low. We actually bounced right back up into that point of control on the weekly and then dove to the downside. So you can see how these areas can be quite important to the market when trading those higher time frames. Finally then, we talked about gold breaking lower. The weekly chart, very bearish. Fundamentals as well for gold, heavily bearish. We were talking about the The fact that if the Fed are going to hike interest rates further, we only see downside to the price of gold at the moment, and we broke out of this trading range. Pricing came back within it on a spike on the news event, and then we continued to push to the downside. Like I said, fundamentally nothing really good going for gold at the moment, so we could expect a retest down at these lows here around about that 1680 area. Thanks for watching the videos this week. I hope you really enjoyed the content and learned a lot. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I hope you have a great weekend.